Oh, look at that. That's nice. Well, the other thing I like to do is check the fit of the, oh, look at that. She's nice. Goes right in very nicely. All right, we need to scrape the residue from the stock head gaskets off at a 90-degree angle, again, like we showed you on the cylinder base. Tip here, on the rocker shafts on these, they just slide in and out, like that, and then your rocker comes off, like that. All right, here's our new cams, provided with the Hooligan Kit. And we should probably also put a little bit of luber-duber on that new cam to the bushing. Okay, so this one is going to be single mark facing this way, single mark, double mark facing that way. This is the hard part. So let's just kind of get an idea of where we need everything to be. You'll see that these won't mesh until they are lined up. And here's this one, needs to be right about there. And that one needs to be right about there. How did we do? Dot to dot, dot to line, dot to dot. This one should be pretty darn easy. Bam! So there it is, lined up. Okay, before we put our cam cover back on, we're going to go ahead and change the seal right there. And oh, look at that. There she goes. Look at her. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put our seal in with the closed side facing up. And just like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the cam chest breather hose that connects to the oil tank back onto the fitting on the back side of the cover. This is kind of a fiddly little thing here. You just gonna plug her in. Not the easiest thing to do. There she goes. Gotta get our gasket on there. New gasket. There's one dowel to locate our gasket. Isn't that nice? Oh, that was pretty good. 11. There you have it. New cam's in, new seal, new gasket. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Okay, now that we've got the cam cover all buttoned up, we can go ahead and put the this pickup back into the end of the cam and kind of move it. Oh, there it is right there. I can feel, and then hold it with one hand and start your screw with the other hand. Tight enough, don't need to overdo it. Put our ignition unit back in there, and that's that. Okay, we got the cam cover all buttoned up. We can go ahead and put the lifters in now. So the lifter's just gonna drop down into the hole like so. And then we're gonna put the anti-rotation pin in there. Got my feeler gauges out. We're going to take the top ring, shiny one, and you're just going to place it in the bore. I like to put it in at an angle like that and then turn it. And then what you do next is you take your piston and you square up the ring in the bore. So in other words, we want that ring to be sitting in the bore even. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the oil control ring on there. Put this expander ring on first, and then one each of these, either way around. There is a tool for doing this. It does make life a lot easier. And that thing's all cattywampus. There she goes. And there you have it. Now the other thing I like to do is always check the fit of the, oh, look at that. She's nice. Goes right in very nicely. And you're just going to hold that like that. and you're gonna wiggle it around until it goes in, like that. Well, the other one went on a lot easier than that, didn't it? Oh, there it is. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there she goes. Oh, look at her go. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the clips in. Hopefully it won't go sailing across the shop. And there she is. So get her in there any way you can. Verify it is all the way in the groove. We are going to do it caveman style. And immediately it wants to go cattywampus. And you'll see there was no harm to the part. And that looks pretty good right there. All right, well, the S&S instructions for the ring end gap's just a little bit different than what I said previously about staggering the end. You're basically gonna find the end of that expander ring, and then you're gonna rotate that expander ring until that gap is facing the front. Sometimes you gotta use a pick or something to slide that around. So now we have the top one facing here, the bottom one facing here, and the middle one facing here. So there we go. So now we have all our ring end gaps set to put this front cylinder on. We have a piston ring compressor. This is kind of a necessity on this job. I don't really recommend trying to get it on there without the tool. This is going to compress the rings because the rings need to be compressed to put the cylinder on. All right, that feels good. There you have it, one cylinder installed. And there you go, after much difficulty, we have both cylinders on. All right, we need to scrape the residue from the stock head gaskets off at a 90-degree angle, again, like we showed you on the cylinder base. And don't worry about this going everywhere, because we're gonna wash these heads off too. All right, we're gonna give this a little scrub down here. Let's go ahead and give her a quick blow job. Okay, it's time to go ahead and get the cylinder heads and the pushrod tubes installed. Woo! We're gonna go ahead and put the lower pushrod seals in these holders. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the pushrod tubes on the engine the right way around. Okay, I'm not gonna snug those all the way down until I get my head on. New head gasket, supplied in the kit. Put the head on. Okay, looks like it's located okay. Okay, you're going to be using a 1/2 inch 12 point. I'm going to go ahead and snug these down the rest of the way till I can feel that they're at the bottom, like so. Front cylinder head is completely torqued. We'll go ahead and tighten these down now. The rest of the way. Calibrated elbow method. Okay, this one's done. Let's move on to the rear. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the rocker boxes cleaned up. You can see that the rocker box is pretty filthy dirty. It's got oil residue where the gaskets go. So I think we'll just spray a little brake cleaner on her. Try to get her cleaned up the best we can. Clean her off. Whoa, don't get that blue tile junk on there. That doesn't want to be inside the engine. Tip here. On the rocker shafts on these, they just slide in and out. Like that. And then your rocker comes off. Like that. You may notice there's that cutaway on there. Well, that is so that the bolt can go past the shaft. There's our gasket here that needs to come off. And also our breather valve. You just get underneath it and pull it out of there like so. Remove those gasket grooves. On all 4 of these bolts, the very top ones that go in those holes, once this goes on there like that, and then this goes on the very top, there are sealing washers. They are stuck to these. Captive washer won't come off the bolt. So basically we're just gonna get our razor blade and we're gonna get underneath that sucker any way we can. Hey, you know what? Forget all about it. Ha! Whew. Let's use these and we don't have to scrape any more gaskets. Yay! Now before we head over, I'm going to go ahead and put my new breather valve in and mention that breather valves, there's 2 holes you could put them in because this could go front or rear. Breather valves go on the intake side. So you're just going to stick it in the hole and there's a little sticking out the other side. Hot! And then you're just going to grab the and pull on it until the installed. And if you look on the thing, you can see there's a nubby along with the, and that little nubby just goes in that hole and keeps it in place. Okay, let's get going here. All right, first thing we want to do is go ahead and put our push rod tubes back, or push rod tubes. We're going to put our push rods back in. Just going to drop those in the hole like so. Just rotate it. Oh, there's one going up. Oh, she's going down. That's probably it right there, but we'll go around again just for the hell of it. There's one coming up. There's another one coming up. There she's coming down. New gasket. Nice gaskets. James gaskets. Yeah. Metal with Printo seal. Okay. Oh, notice she's like kind of just hanging around there. And we just set her up over there and get those holes on the gasket in the right place. Oh, she's a weirding out. There we go. And go ahead and get these 4 bolts started. And you may notice how the rocker box is up and it doesn't really want to go down because it's the rocker shafts are riding on the push rods and the lifters are kind of holding it up. All right, she's starting to meet the surface there, like the other side. Okay, I can feel on this side, she's all the way down. That one's all the way down. Okay, this one goes to here. Well, that one's sitting in there pretty nice. Put your middle one on, and we're ready to put our lid on. That up on there like so. Checking to make sure all those are even. Not really sure what the torque spec is on this. This is another calibrated elbow job. So there you have it on that one. Now we're ready to go ahead and do the same thing here. Okay, maybe I was bragging too much. Let's see if the top goes on easy. Oh. And then when you find that just right combination, she goes in. There you have it. Okay, she's looking pretty good now. Looking like a motor again. Okay, before we get the manifold on, we're going to go ahead and throw a new set of spark plugs in there. Make sure you get some all over your hand, because that's always fun. That'll keep the plug from galling. Don't overdo it on your plugs. You need them to be tight, but don't crank them until you rip the threads out of the cylinder heads. Yeah, look at those old gaskets. Those don't look very happy. Here's our new gaskets. let's not mix up the old ones and the new ones. That's an old one. Put your gasket on there. That goes on first. Flat side faces up. And like so. Okay, they're snugged up. Okay, so I got the gasket installed on the manifold. We'll just go ahead and pop your carb on. Making sure it's fully seated. Make sure that's fully engaged. So get your cutoff wrench in there and there we go. Now she's tight. All right, gang, that concludes our S&S Hooligan Kit installation. I know what you're thinking, we're not done yet. Yeah, we do have a little ways to go. We do have some future plans for this little project here. Stay tuned for some other videos on some other stuff we're going to be doing with this same motorcycle. And when she's all done, at the end, we'll show you some video of this fine engine running and ripping around town.